Hello there in YouTube. This is Awakened by Yah here again to share with you the Book of Jubilees, Yovheliym, also known as Jubilees, and Cepher. This is on my bare sheet copy. It's a little bit easier, and I like the way it's set up. It's easier to share. So let's just pray to Yah and get to it. Abba Yah, I just pray that you'd direct my reading by the Ruach HaKodesh. Speak to me. Speak through me, Yahusha. It's in your name we pray that you'd bless this word. Amen. In the third week, in the second Jubilee, she gave birth to Cain. In the fourth, she gave birth to Havel. And the fifth, she gave birth to her daughter, Awan. In the first year of the third Jubilee, Cain slew Havel, because Elohim accepted the sacrifice of Havel, did not accept the offering of Cain. And he slew him in the field, and his blood cried from the ground to heaven, complaining because he had slain him. And Yahuwah reproved Cain because of Havel. Because he had slain him, he made him a fugitive on the earth because of the blood of his brother. And he cursed him upon the earth. And on this account it is written on the heavenly tablets, Cursed is he who smites his neighbor treacherously, and let all who have seen and heard say, So be it. And the man who has seen and not declared it, let him be accursed as to the other. And for this reason we announce when we come before Yahuwah Elohanu all the sin which is committed in heaven and earth, and in light and in darkness, and everywhere. And Adam and his woman mourned for Hevel 4 weeks of years. And in the fourth year of the fifth week they became joyful. And Adam knew his woman again, and she bore him a son. And he called his name Sheth. For he said, Yahuwah has raised up a second seed unto us on the earth instead of Havel. For Cain slew him. And in the 6th week he begat his daughter, Azurah. And Cain took Awan his sister to be his woman, and she bore him to Enoch at the close of the 4th Jubilee. In the first year of the first week of the 5th Jubilee, houses were built on the earth. And Cain built a city, and called its name after the name of his son Enoch. Adam knew Kawah his woman, and she bore yet 9 sons. And in the 5th week of the 5th Jubilee, Sheth took Azurah his sister to be his woman. And in the 4th year of the 6th week, she bore him Enoch. He began to call on the name of Yahuwah on the earth. And the 7th Jubilee, on the 3rd week, Enoch took Noam, his sister, to be his woman. She bore him a son in the 3rd year of the 5th week, and called his name Canaan. At the close of the 8th Jubilee, Canaan took Muleatheth, excuse me on the names, I'm doing my best, his sister, to be his woman. She bore him a son in the 9th Jubilee, in the 1st week of the 3rd year of this week, called his name Mahalalel. And in the 2nd week of the 10th Jubilee, Mahalalel took unto him to be his woman Dinah, the daughter of Barachiel, the daughter of father's brother. She bore him a son in the 3rd week in the 6th year, and called his name Yered. For in his days the angels of Yahuwah descended on the earth, those who are named the Watchers, that they should instruct the children of men, that they should do judgment and uprightness on the earth. And so originally they come down to do good. Just a little side note there. And remember, this is, I want you to always remember, this is written from the angel's perspective. So always remember, like it says, when we come before Elohanu, and we and for this reason we announce, when we come before Yahuwah Elohanu, all the sin which is committed in heaven and on earth, in light and in darkness and everywhere. So obviously that would only be, from the perspective of nations, they know, and they do tell them, it works. Anyway, let's go back to verse 16. And in the 11th Jubilee, Yered took himself a woman, and her name was Barakah, the daughter of Resuyal, a daughter of his father's brother. In the 4th week of this Jubilee, she bore him a son in the 5th week. In the 4th year of the Jubilee, and he called his name Enoch. And he was first among men that are born on earth, who learned writing and knowledge and wisdom, who wrote down the signs of heaven according to the order of their mouths in a Cepher, in a book, that men might know the seasons of the years according to the order of their separate months. And he was the first to write a testimony, and he testified to the sons of men among the generations of earth. And he recounted the weeks of the Jubilees, and made known to them the days of the years, set in order the months, and recounted the Shabbatoth, and the years have we made them known to him, and what was and what will be, he saw in a vision of his sleep, as it will happen to the children of men throughout their generations until the day of judgment. He saw and understood everything, and wrote it, and wrote his testimony, and placed the testimony on earth for all the children of men and for the generations. And of course, that would be the book of Enoch, where it talks about all that. And so that Shabbatoth, that's Sabbath. And in the 12th Jubilee, in the 7th week thereof, he took himself a woman, and her name was Edna, the daughter of Daniel, the daughter of his father's brother. And the 6th year, this week, she bore him a son, and called his name Methuselah. And he was moreover with the angels of Elohim these 6 jubilees of years, and they showed him everything which is on earth and in the heavens, the rule of the sun. He wrote down everything, and he testified to the watchers, who had sinned with the daughters of men, for these had begun to unite themselves, so as to be defiled with the daughters of men, and could not testified against them all. And he was taken from amongst the children of men, and we conducted him into the Garden of Eden in majesty and honor. And behold, there he writes down the condemnation and judgment of the world, and all the wickedness of the children of men. So he's still there, folks, writing down all the wickedness of the children of men. And on the account of it, Elohim brought the waters of the flood upon all the land of Eden. For there was set a sign, and that he should testify against all the children of men, that he should recount the deeds of the generations until the day of condemnation. And he burnt the incense of the sanctuary, even sweet spices, acceptable before Yahuwah on the mount. For Yahuwah has 4 places on the earth, the Garden of Eden, and the Mount of the East, and on the mountain which you are this day, Mount Sinai, and Mount Zion, which will be sanctified, in the new creation for a sanctification of the earth, though it will be the earth. Through it will the earth be sanctified from all its guilt and its uncleanness throughout the generations of the world. And in the 14th Jubilee, Methuselah took unto himself a woman, Edna, the daughter of Azrael, the daughter of his father's brother, in the 3rd week, in the first year of this week. He begat a son, his name was Lamech. And in the 15th Jubilee, in the 3rd week, Lamech took to himself a woman, and her name was Betanos, the daughter of Barakael, the daughter of his father's brother. And this week she bore him a son, and called his name Noach, saying, This one will comfort me for my trouble in all my work, and for the ground which Yahuwah has cursed. And on the close of the 19th Jubilee, in the 7th week, in the 6th year thereof, Adam died, and all his sons buried him in the land of his creation. And he was the first to be buried in the earth. And he lacked 70 years of 1,000 years. For 1,000 years are as one day in the testimony of the heavens. And therefore, as it is written concerning the tree of knowledge, on the day that ye eat thereof ye shall die. For this reason he did not complete the years of his day, of this day, for he died during it. At the close of this Jubilee, Cain was killed after him in the same year. For his house fell upon him, and he died in the midst of his house, and he was killed by its stones. For with a stone he had killed Havel, and by a stone was he killed in righteous judgment. For this reason it was ordained on the heavenly tablets, with the instrument with which a man kills his neighbor, with the same shall he be killed. After the manner that he wounded him, in like manner shall they deal with him. As in the New Testament, it says, you live by the sword, die by the sword. And in the 25th Jubilee, Noach took to himself a woman. Her name was Imzerah, the daughter of Rachel, the daughter of his father's brother, in the first year of the 5th week, and in the 3rd year thereof she bore him Shem. In the 5th year thereof she bore him Ham, and the 1st year in the 6th week she bore him Yethvith. And it came to pass, when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth, the daughters were born unto them, that the angels of Elohim saw them on a certain year of this Jubilee, that they were beautiful to look upon. They took themselves women of all whom they chose. They bore unto them sons, and they were Nephilim. And iniquity increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way. Alike men and cattle and beasts and birds and everything that walks on the earth, all of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and began to devour each other. And their iniquity increased on the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of all men was thus evil continually. And Elohim looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. And all flesh had corrupted its orders, and all that were upon the earth had wrought all manner of evil before his eyes. And he said that he would destroy man, and all flesh upon the face of the earth, which he had created. But Noach found grace before the eyes of Yahuwah, and against the angels whom he had sent upon the earth he was exceedingly wroth. He gave the command to root them out of all their dominion. He bade us to bind them in the depths of the earth. And behold, they are bound in the midst of them, and they are kept separate. I want you to pay attention. It gets real interesting. And against their son they went forth a commandment from before his face, that they should be smitten with the sword, and be removed from under heaven. And he said, My ruach will not always abide on man, for they are also flesh, and their days shall be 120 years. And he sent his sword into their midst, that each should slay his neighbor. They began to slay each other, till they all fell by the sword, and they were destroyed from the earth. And we've got a testimony of that in Enoch. And their fathers were witnesses of their destruction. And after this they were bound in the depths of the earth forever, until the day of the great condemnation, when judgment is executed on all who have corrupted their ways and their works before Yahuwah. He destroyed all from their places, and there was not one of them left whom he judged not according to all their wickedness. And he made for all his works new and righteous nature, so that they should not sin in their whole nature forever, but should be all righteous, each in his kind ways, each in his kind always. And the judgment of all is ordained and written on the heavenly tablets in righteousness, even the judgment of all who depart from the path which is ordained for them to walk in. And if they walk not therein, judgment is written down for every creature and for every kind. And there is nothing in heaven or earth, or in light, or in darkness, or in Sheol, or in the depth, or in the place of darkness, which is not judged. And all their judgments are ordained and written and engraved. In regard to all he will judge, the great according to his greatness, and the small according to his smallness, and each according to his way. And he is not one who will regard the person of any, nor is he one who will receive gifts. If he says he will execute judgment on each, if one gave everything that is on the earth, he will not regard the gifts of one person, or the person of any, or accept anything at his hands, for he is a righteous judge. And the children of Yasharel, and of the children of Yasharel, it has been written and ordained, if they turn to him in righteousness, he will forgive all their transgressions, and pardon all their sins. It is written and ordained that he will show mercy to all who turn from their guilt once each year, and for us, and for all those who corrupted their ways and their thoughts before the flood. No man's person was accepted, save that of Noach alone, for his person was accepted in behalf of his sons, whom Elohim saved from the waters of the flood on his account, for his heart was righteous in all his ways, according as it was commanded regarding him, and he had not departed from aught that was ordained for him. And Yahuwah said that he should destroy, and Yahuwah said that he would destroy everything which was upon the earth, both men and cattle and beasts and fowls of the air, and that which moves on the earth. And he commanded Noach to make himself, okay, let me get this straight, guys. And commanded Noach to make an ark, that he might save himself from the waters of the flood. And Noach made the ark in all respects as he commanded him, the 27th Jubilee of years, in the 5th week of the 5th year of the new moon, on the 1st month. And he entered in the 6th year thereof, on the 2nd month, on the new moon on the 2nd month to the 16th, and he entered. And all that we brought to him into the ark, and Yahuwah closed it from without on the 17th evening. And Yahuwah opened 7 floodgates of heaven, and the mouths of the fountains of the great deep, 7 mouths in number. And the floodgates began to pour down water from the heaven 40 days and 40 nights. And the fountains of the deep also sent up waters, until the whole world was full of water. And the waters increased upon the earth. 15 cubits did the water rise above all the high mountains. And the ark was lifted above the earth, and moved it upon the face of the waters. And the water prevailed on the face of the earth 5 months, 150 days. And the ark went and rested upon the top of Lubar, one of the mountains of Ararat. So it gives you the specific mountain in the mountains there. And of course, that has been found by, you can check it out. And on the new moon in the 4th month, and the fountains of the great deep were closed, and floodgates of heaven were restrained. And on the new moon of the 7th month, all the mouths of the abysses of the earth were opened, and the water began to descend into the deep below. And on the new moon in the 10th month, tops of the mountains were seen. And on the new moon the 1st month, the earth became visible, and the waters disappeared from above the earth in the 5th week, in the 7th year thereof. And on the 17th day in the 2nd month, the earth was dry. So you just picture it, just like a little old, globe, or, like a snow globe, just filling up with water, and then he fills it from the top, and then it gets full, so he opens up the deep, and it just flows down to the little pocket there. It's awesome. On the 27th thereof, he opened the ark, and sent forth from it beasts, the cattle and birds, and every moving thing. And I bet he was glad to see all them stinking animals go. And so we're going to stop there for now in this video. We got 4 and 5. So I think that's a good place to stop. Yahuwah bless you. Yahuwah keep you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you. May he show you favor. May he lift his face upon you and give you peace. Amen.